Hi everyone, and welcome to Q&A Monday, episode 1. My name is Peter Doman. I am the CEO and Director of Vancouver SEO Company. Thank you very much for joining me. And we are here to go through and basically allow everyone to go through and have a look at what it is that the questions that come into us on a consistent basis. What we're trying to do is go ahead and actually educate people, and this video is part of it. And the ongoing Q&A Monday series is designed to give people just a quick 7 to 10 minute video that then gives them an understanding of what it is that SEO is and certain components of that. So we're trying to move ahead and actually get the results that people want to do, and we're hoping to educate them through these video series. So normally our questions come in via traditional methods, the phone and email, but we've noticed that there's a greater need to go out and actually educate people about what it is that's going on. And this actually gives us a really good avenue to go ahead and actually contact people and to let the information get out there about what it is A, that we do, but also B, how it is that the ability to implement search engine optimization correctly on people's websites can benefit them. So what we're going to do is take a question every week, talk about what it is that the question is asking, and then basically work through the answer to give you a defined and definitive role of what it is that search engine optimization should be doing for you. So that being said, let's get into it. I'll just scroll down here. So what we've got, first question we have received is from Stephen in Florida in the US. It's kind of a two-part question, so let's get into it. Firstly, Stephen's gone through and he says, look, I know what SEO stands for. It's obviously search engine optimization. But as we quite often get asked, what does SEO actually mean? I suppose it's like an in-depth equation of what it is that I suppose really the answer is that gives people the ability to go, okay, well, yes, I know what it is, but I can then understand it. So as we work through what we take a look, first of all, Stephen, thank you very much for the question. Thank you for that. That came in via email. So universally, most people know that search engine optimization helps their website to be found by people, and that's a very simplistic version of it. So from there, what we need to do then is take a look at that explanation, and then we're going to expand upon it. So to Stephen's second part of the question, from our point of view, search engine optimization means a system that works in place to consistently produce a desired result. It's not a case of being something so simple that it's like a silver bullet, but it's designed to go through and work continuously to basically either make the email ding or make the phone ring, and that's what we're really trying to do. So SEO in really simplified terms is where you'll go through and you'll have you try and get your website found for a particular set of keywords and also a particular set of keyword phrases. Ideally, that's what you want to try and do, and that's a very simplistic approach to it. Most people have an understanding. They've heard the term keywords or phrases and stuff like that. Tags is also another one that they will be familiar with, and we want to go through and just expand on that and derive something that's going to be very useful to people to use in the future. So as we begin to look more in depth, what we're talking about here with search engine optimization is creating a system that will deliver the results that you want for your website. So it's not a situation of for example, a one-hit wonder or a silver bullet that can solve all online problems, but it's the ability to implement and execute a system that is consistently working towards the achievement of what your goals are. And that's very, very important. The ability to know that the system is actually doing what it is that needs to be doing. But it also then ties in with the ability for I suppose the front end of the business, the actual people who answer the phones and the like, for them to actually then reciprocate in kind and actually work for the website too. So what that means is that there's no point having a whole heap of people being driven off the website to the phones and also to the email, only to then be cut off by the sales prevention department. So people not doing their jobs properly or not understanding how to do their jobs correctly as well. So search engine optimization for most people is going to be a long-term strategy that needs to be invested in for the growth of the business, both currently and obviously moving forward in the future. There is no such thing as set and forget. style of search engine optimization. It really is about consistent application and making sure that you actually get your ideas down on paper and then out onto the world. That really is the big secret to it. So with the long-term strategy in mind, search engine optimization has several fronts which has the ability to deliver the consistent results for you. The results may be purchases from online from your website through to businesses, through to people calling your business. You get to measure what the desired outcome is. You might have a sales process that works really well online and it then diverts people to the offline for the final section. So the website might do about 80% of the heavy lifting. Or you might have a simple site where, for example, people just purchase stuff off your site and that's it. Whatever the outcome may be, you determine it. And the idea is that you can then, you can then go through and then mark and test and measure the results that you're getting. So, as I said, the ability for an SEO system to have several fronts to deliver fresh, continuous leads to you all the time is super important. So creating the system for SEO, like I said, is done through several stages of development. So we'll take a look at those stages. The first one we go through is a current review of the site. Now what that means, we basically go in there, we take a look at structural and visual elements of the site, and we also have a look at website citations. We go through and we just try and track down what it is that the website's doing now, how people are finding it, is it easy to find, is it hard to find, just general bits and pieces like that. And we do this with the consumer hat on. So we go through and we make sure that people, we think like the consumer. They don't know you, they don't know your business, so how are they going to find you? We then go through the second phase is to have a competitive review. Now this is common practice for most SEO companies, and what it is, it basically just takes a look at what it is your competitors are doing versus, and then overlays it over what you're doing. So the transparency is that if there's something that's being completely missed, you can actually go through and see it in an easy way. Sometimes it's a little more difficult than that, but the idea is that you can compare one to the other and see where it is that you can pick up points. Third point, we go through and review the current site data. Now for your site, for example, that's going to include a number of visitors, average page visits, the time that people spend on the site, the bounce rate, and we have a look at that and we see what it is that we can improve. Now we also take a look at bounce rate for two different things: mobile version if you've got a responsive website, or if it's just an ordinary site. We take a look at what it is the bounce rates are for each of those devices. We then stop the process there. Once we've reached that stage, we then have a review of what the client wants to do and where the client wants to go. This then takes any guesswork out of the system. So what that then determines is that we have a clear, defined goal of where it is that we want to go and how we want to do it. Now the achieving that obviously comes down to us being able to do our job. But the problem that we find is that if we don't have that clear definition, the goalposts keep moving for everybody all the time, and the expectations don't meet up and marry up, and then we find that at times there can be problems with that. So we like to get that out of the way nice and early in the process so that everyone has the same page and is working for the same team. So from there, we then review these new goals with the current site information and formulate changes. So this might mean, for example, you may need a new site. The site that you've got, for example, might be non-responsive. It might be a situation whereby the site might be 5 or 6 years old. It hasn't been touched for quite a few years, which does happen. So it's all about taking a look at what it is that the current mold that we have to work with is, and if it's good enough, we can use it. Moving on to the next step, we go through and we step out the plan for expanding the reach of the site to search engines. So basically what we do, we expand out on our ideas and theories on what it is that we can go through and do to make this business or its website more easily found. That ability to outlay that then gives the owners of the business the ability to say, yes, this is, okay, we're happy with where this is heading. And then the traditional aspect is that, okay, well, then we start moving forward from there. It's all about the communication being open and transparent and giving people an understanding and a clear idea of what is coming forth. So there's no nasty surprises. We then move forward to the strategic So we then move forward to the strategic plan for ongoing search engine optimization. So what then happens is we then lay out a plan of how it is that we are going to go through and achieve the goals that the owners of the website want, and we then bring them in on the plan as well in this further stage. And the idea is that we then have the ability to schedule what it is that we need to do. The next point is that we clearly state the schedule that needs to be adhered to, and we define who plays what part. So of this, what you'll find is that the ability for people to go through and actually have a clear understanding of what their part is in this role is very, very important. It removes any grey areas, and it just makes things just nice and black and white and relatively simple. People understand where they're at, what is required of them, and it's, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. It allows for a nice building of a foundation for a relationship. Then what we do, we then begin the process of rolling out the strategic plan. Now, strategic plan traditionally for search engine optimization isn't a case of building 200 backlinks in a day. Usually what we find works best is the ability to roll the plan out in sequence. It might be a scenario whereby, for example, you'll do X, Y, Z for 1 week, then A, B, C for the next week, and then D, E, F for the week after that, and move forward in that sort of pattern. So you'll do a small little bit and just contribute to get everything moving forwards. The one thing we don't want to do is to raise any flags against the website and get it in trouble for something for either doing too much or doing something wrong or going against terms of service. So we try to avoid that, obviously, and we just make sure that everything's just rolled out in a nice consistent pattern. We work up to how it is that things are delivered, and then what we do is we just keep moving forward. We follow consistency. From there, we follow the schedule and we improvise, adapt and overcome as required. Every now and again, life does get in the way, things will happen. So for example, if a video like this one hasn't been shot by the owners of the website, for example, there's no point getting too upset about it. Obviously, we improvise, we adapt and we overcome, and we find something else to make happen. So the idea is that it's not all cast in stone. It's a relatively simple ability to go through and be flexible about what it is that's going on. So that gives you a rundown of what it is that we do for our search engine optimization and their systems. And so as you can see, it's not just a case of following the next shiny object and then hoping that this will fix your online presence. It's all about a strategic and definitive process. It takes a dedicated, committed and clear strategy to get to where you want to go, and making sure you've got the right team there to help you and guide you through the process as well. That's very important, and it's also about education. This is where it is that you can actually learn what it is that needs to be done and how it is you can adapt and go through and actually start to take on your own stuff in the future. So thanks very much for your time. I look forward to reading your responses and reading any of your queries that you have. And as always, you can contact us via our email, which is frontdesk@vancouver-SEO-company.com, or you can contact us on our phone number, which is +1 778 938 8712, or you can visit us at the website, which is www.vancouver-SEO-company.com. Thank you very much, and we'll speak to you next week. Bye for now.